What we've got here is failure to...
Good day, everyone. My name is Chase Couzens.
And I am David LeVasseur.
The availability of firearms with mass casualty capability has become far too widespread in this great nation of ours, and something must be done.
The Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting of February 14th killed 17 people and wounded 17 more. The shooter, Nicholas Cruz, was apprehended shortly after and is currently on trial.
David and I have decided to get the honest opinions of Dearborn residents, from others to city councilwomen, on what could be done to solve this issue. He did all the work in that regard, of course.
We are honored to present to you this collection of interviews on this issue, and we hope that you learn something new. How do you feel about what the students are doing in Parkland for what happened?
I think the students in Parkland, Florida, are extremely well-spoken. They're passionate about the issue that they've been unfortunately forced to have to address. I think that they have the opportunity to help us make change in the United States where seasoned adults have not been able to make change. Obviously, our elected officials at a national level have come to butting heads over the years. They're influenced by a lot of things that young people who are only 17, 16, 18 haven't had to deal with as far as political decisions go. They're speaking from their hearts, they're speaking from personal experience in their short lives, and they are being heard because people really want to do well for their children, and so they're in a different position than somebody who's 30, 40, 50 years old and has been serving as an elected official for quite some time and knows that sometimes you can't affect the change you want to affect. They're in a completely different situation, and I'm really excited about what they're doing, but of course very sad because of the circumstances that brought them to this. I'm Councilwoman Leslie Herrick. I'm newly elected to Dearborn City Council, and I'm really glad that you took the opportunity to talk with me today. Here in Dearborn, there are students who are also being passionate about the issue. That the students in Parkland, Florida were first to speak up, but across the nation, students are speaking out against gun violence and that we need to make change, whether that's gun control or dealing with mental health issues at a more proactive level. We've got students across the country who are speaking out now. And here in Dearborn on February 20th, we had a vigil out in front of the Dearborn Public Library that was organized by the Dearborn Democratic Club, but in partnership with students from all of our public schools. We had students from Edsel, Ford, Fordson, and Dearborn High who all spoke up. They used poems, personal stories, and their passions to talk about why we need to make change now. They don't want to see another generation or even another class have to go through what happened in Parkland, Florida, where they lose their classmates. And so students across the country are taking a stand to make change, and I'm really proud of the students here in Dearborn who are doing that, and they're continuing because there are continued planned efforts between public forums, a student walkout that is scheduled for next week. The students are taking time to organize, get their thoughts together, and take proactive measures to make sure that they're heard so that we can make change going forward. So I'm really proud of the students in Dearborn as well. Thank you.
Yeah, if you want to prevent it, you have to back up a few years because you're going to need to do something about restricting the access to firearms. I mean, the fact is that we treat the Second Amendment like some sort of holy grail in this country, and that everybody should have as many and as much as they want. Whereas what I think would be a much more reasonable solution, that instead of treating guns as a right, that you treated them as a privilege, like we treat everything else. I mean, for God's sakes, if I have to license my car annually, be tested on my driving, if I'm suspected of not being able to do it, or if I do anything wrong, I can have my license to drive taken away. You know, I have to carry liability insurance for the vehicle I own. Couldn't we even manage that with guns, perhaps? But all the, all the secondary things they want to throw in place, the idea of, armed guards, arming teachers, it's all really just bullshit. I mean, the only way you're really going to do it is to address the inherent problems that cause people to go crazy and shoot, which is most of the time some sort of psychological problem or a disconnection from society, because we run schools like an overburdened, overprocessed factory where people get pushed to the side. I mean, there's one, and then two, don't make it so it's possible for the guy to turn around, run down the street and buy a high-capacity magazine, a rapid-fire rifle, and bullets designed to cut through people. I mean, those are, that's what you can do, is stop us doing things the way we do, because the way we're doing them doesn't work. But arming teachers is not a solution. Bolting the doors, locking the place down, giving me guards, this is not a solution. That just makes this a prison, more so than anything else. No, what you have to do is you have to make it so that people who own guns own them responsibly, that they have to have a continual process where they continue or prove themselves responsible in a regular way, in a regular fashion, so that you can't. If I buy a gun 10 years ago, what's to say I'm not crazy today? Why don't I have to re-up, right? If I have a driver's license, I have to go to get my eyes tested every couple of years just to make sure I'm not stupid and blind. But if I buy a gun, apparently I have a license for life to carry a deadly weapon. Want to fix it? Fix that.
As we reach the halfway point of our video, we ask you to consider just how many have lost their lives to gun violence. According to the Trace, an archive on gun violence statistics and news, at least 15,549 Americans were killed by gun violence in 2017 alone. This excludes suicides.
Time magazine reports that there have been at least 290 school shootings since Sandy Hook, a shooting that occurred in 2013. Those who oppose gun restrictions need to understand that this is not a normal statistic, even for a nation this large. By comparison, Russia has only one true school shooting.
The interviews will now resume.
Down here.
What do you think of the walkout so far?
Towards the center of the circle drive. You've got a lot of space over here.
You know what I mean? Like the scope of it is pretty insane. It's like the whole school is out here. And I think it's gonna, I think people are gonna be talking about it in our area, definitely. So very successful.
What do you think about what we just did today?
I'm very proud of those students sharing a very powerful message, and I don't think there's one answer to this. I think we all have to reflect and do our job to be the best individuals we can be and push our leaders to do the right thing.
Meadow Pollock, 18, Stoneman Douglas High School, accepted at Lynn University, died while protecting a freshman girl. Nicholas Duarte, 17, Stoneman Douglas High School, swim team captain, dreamed of going to the Olympics. Joaquin Oliver, 17, immigrant from Venezuela who just became a U.S. citizen before he died. Haley Ramsey, 17, died protecting her best friend. Carmen Shintrup, 16, qualified for the National Merit Scholar semifinals, died a week before her 17th birthday. Luke Hoyer, 15, loved basketball, playing Xbox and chicken nuggets. Peter Wong, 15, dreamed of attending West Point and joining the military, was shot while holding the door open for other students to escape. Alyssa Alheda, 14, talented soccer player and a big sister to two little brothers. Her mom has been sleeping in Alyssa's bed since she was murdered. Martin Duke Anguiano, 14, a devoted soccer player who spread kindness to his family, friends, and staff members. Jamie Gutenberg, 14, had a passion for dance, dreamed of becoming a pediatric physical therapist.
Since 1999, America has witnessed Columbine High School, Atlanta shooting, the Las Vegas shooting, Orlando nightclub, Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, Sutherland Spring Church, San Bernardino, Binghamton, Fort Hood, Washington Navy Yard, Aurora, Geneva, Red Lake, UCC, and Stoneman Douglas. But what did we do?
Being a student means eating a loud cafeteria. Being a student means staying up late for every two exams. Being a student does not mean you are entering school afraid. Being a student does not mean you should be able to acquire firearms. And being a student does not get you our targets. I wish I didn't know the name of Daniel Barton, a victim from Sandy Hook. I wish I didn't know the name of Helena Ramsey, a victim from Coleman Douglas. Not because I don't care, because I wish they hadn't been victims. As a student, I don't want my school to become a military base, packed with weapons and security. We should be able to enter an environment dedicated to education without passing armed guards. This isn't about the Second Amendment. This is about facilitating an act which we, the students, can say, I feel safe. I come to school to socialize with my friends, not to fear losing them. I come to school to mature and grow, not to cower in a corner. And I come to school to learn, not to lose my life. Today, we remembered that we are students, and we are students with a voice, and we will never, ever be silenced. Thank you.
It could have been us, and this is why we raise our voices for action against gun violence in schools. Enough is enough!
In case our stance was not clear, we are of the opinion that any weapons that have the ability to kill multiple people in a matter of seconds need to be restricted. We don't want to ban guns. We simply ask for tighter restrictions and guidelines, such as mandatory firearms classes on an annual basis and written and demonstrative tests.
We hope this video has gotten you to consider the situation of this nation. And we also hope that it inspires action in your heart. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Some men you just can't reach. So you get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it. I don't like it any more than you
do. Even for a nation this large. By comparison, Russia has had only one truly true. God.
Food. Hold on.
Time magazine reports that there have been at least 2.
Man, I swear to God.
I'm just gonna start from the Time magazine part.
Alright.
We hope this video has gotten you to consider the situation of this nation. God.
David.
Time magazine reports that there have been at least 290 school shootings since Sandy Hook. A school Hawk.
Yikes. Good day, everyone. My name is Chase Couzens. The availability of firearms. We gotta do that.